What's up, guys? Fall is here. The temperatures are cooling down and everybody wants to start planting. Yes, all the nurseries out there are telling you right now is the best time to plant. Everybody's advertising. Everybody wants your money. But is it a good time to plant right now? Is it not? What makes plants actually grow? What makes them not grow? Well, check this out. In today's episode, not only will I be telling you all of that, I will also be showing you what plants out of my collection of plants are the best ones to plant right now and why. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, let's talk about what makes plants grow and what makes them not grow. Why do people say right now is the best time to plant in the fall? Well, I can tell you the main reason why is it a good time to plant right now is because it's a lot cooler. It's not hot. It's a lot easier to dig holes out there. It's a lot easier for you to be out there. That's the main reason why most nurseries are pushing people to grow plants right now, simply because it's a lot cooler. People are out there shopping. Yes, when it's cooler, people are going to be out a lot more often than when it's hot. So, is it really a good time to plant right now? If you forget everything that I tell you in this video, remember this one. This one took me a long time to actually understand. I did not learn it from anybody. I actually learned this tip just from watching plants grow. Plants grow mainly when the night temperatures are hot. The hotter the night temperatures, the faster your plants are going to grow. So why is it happening right now during the fall? If you check the temperatures at night, they are dropping. I am located in the desert. Here my day temperatures are always hot, but during the winter times, night temperatures drop drastically. And even though it's hot during daytime, guess what? My plants do not grow. At least 95% of them do not grow during the winter time like they will during the summer, because the night temperatures are extremely, well, they're a lot colder in the winter. So if somebody right now is telling you it's the best time to plant a Barbados cherry, like this guy's right here, is it right now a good time to plant them? No, it is not a good time to plant them. And I'm going to be telling you the reasons why. Reason number one is the night temperatures are dropping. Season for Barbados cherries is when the night temperatures are extremely hot. The hotter the night temperatures, the faster these guys are going to grow. Right now, they're actually shutting down growing. Not only on the top, but also below ground. So if you take a Barbados cherry tree and stick it in the ground, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Well, check this out. If you live in an area that is not tropical, if you live in an area that's going to get frost in the winter time, well, check this out. You put this in the ground, you're going to have to frost protect it. It does not have enough time to root itself in the ground and become stronger before the first freeze comes. So, is it going to feel good right now to plant it in the ground? Yeah, because the temperatures are cooler. It's a lot better for you to plant it right now, but not for the plant. Simply because this plant right here will take an entire year to root itself in the ground. And it will not grow when the night temperatures are cold. How do I know that? Because I've been growing Barbados cherries for many years now. I've had them from small sizes, like this 4-inch container right here, all the way to like 25-gallon containers, like 2-3 times bigger than this plant right here. And during the winter time, they do not flower. And the little guys, they do not even grow roots in the ground. So even if you plant it right now, no, you're not gonna get a head start for next year. You won't be able to move your plant around to frost protect it, and you're gonna have to cover it in the ground. And if your plant takes damage in the winter from frost, guess what? Your plant is dead because it will not have the root system in the ground to come back from. And this is true for most plants out there. Most plants out there will not grow if it gets cold at night. Just look around your yard. Look around all the plants in your neighborhood, your city, your state. What do those plants look like in the wintertime? Are they growing? Are they flowering? I can tell you easily over 95% of those plants are not doing anything, and they will not do anything until warmer night temperatures, which usually happens in the spring. So now that you understand what makes plants grow mainly, and is it a good time to plant right now or not, well, let's talk about what type of plants can you actually stick in the ground right now and not have to worry about. Well, if you live in an area where the soil does not freeze, you can go ahead and stick citrus in the ground. Right now I have limes, I have Buddha hands, I have Eureka lemons right here, I have oranges, I got pomelos, I got grapefruits, I got all kinds of citrus. I got small ones right here, and also I got bigger ones in here. This guys, you can put them in the ground right now Most of them, as long as your temperatures do not drop below 20 degrees in the wintertime, they will make it through the winter without any protection. No issues at all. But just like I said earlier, are you getting a head start for next year? Not really, because this plant right here is just gonna sit there until warm and night temperatures next year, or soil temperatures, to actually start growing roots in the soil. And that's gonna happen next year. But at least you don't have to worry about this plant protecting it in the wintertime, especially if you live in zones 9A plus. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is if you get cold for too long, like in the 20s for many hours, day and night, even though the plant may survive your winter, the fruits will not. The problem you're going to encounter with growing citrus in cooler temperatures is not so much the cold, it's not so much the frost, it's the fruits. Most of the fruits are ripening through the winter time. So if you get that cold for that long, guess what's going to happen to the liquid inside your fruits? It's going to freeze and your fruits are going to drop. So while you can grow a citrus in cooler temperatures, getting them to hold fruit during the winter time is very complicated. So what are some of the fruit plants or plants in general that you can actually stick in the ground and not have to worry about it? Well, you can go ahead and plant any stone fruit in the ground. Peaches, nectarines, plums, any of those guys, safe to plant right now simply because you do not have to protect them in the winter time. They can take the temperatures, no issues, and usually those types of trees, the root system will react to the soil temperature more than the ambient temperature. So once your soil temperatures start warming up, they will actually start growing roots. So you can go ahead and put those plants in the ground. Right now I got apples and I got a few apricots, and those guys safe to plant right now. Something else that's safe to plant right now are these jelly palms, also known as pendo. These palms right here, they can take freezing temperatures, no issues. If you live in zones 9A plus, you should be able to grow this plant right here. The only time you're gonna have issues with this palm right here is if your soil freezes in the winter. If it gets that cold to the point where the soil freezes, well, this plant is going to die. Another plant that's actually tropical that you can stick in the ground right now and not really have to worry about it, it may take a little bit of damage, especially if you're planting this late, is Jamon, or also known as Java plum. Super easy to grow, it takes full sun, and if you are in zone 9B plus and you don't get any colder than, I would say, 20, 22 degrees in the winter time for too long, you should be able to plant this in the ground. Is it gonna grow? No, but it's not gonna die if it gets frost damage. Something else you can plant in the ground right now are any type of mulberry trees or any other deciduous plant or any other plant that goes dormant in the winter time. Those plants do not take damage in the winter and it's safe to plant right now. Are you getting a head start for next year? I guess you won't have to dig a hole next year and plant it in the ground. Other than that, these plants are not gonna grow until warmer night temperatures next year. But at least you don't have to protect them in the winter time. Right now, I got Pakistan mulberry trees, I got Shangri-La mulberry trees, and super easy to grow. Something else you can plant in right now that you won't have to protect in the winter are pineapple guavas, zones 9A plus. These guys right here have taken 19 degrees in my area without any issues. Evergreen, they do not drop their leaves in the winter, easy to grow. Something else you can plant right now are Surinam cherries. This is also known as Brazilian cherry, or its native name, pitanga. Yes, these guys right here are a tropical cherry plant. Super easy to grow. They can take 19 degrees easily. They can take frost. The worst that has happened to me during the winter time with these plants is the leaves will turn red if it gets extremely cold. Other than that, I have never lost a single plant in the winter because it was too cold. Super easy. And like I said, you can plant right now, but do not expect your plant to grow until it's fully rooted in the ground. And this plant in my area takes at least 1 to 2 years for that to happen. Something else you can plant in the ground are bamboo plants. We sell mainly clumping varieties. Now, most of them will look crispy, a little ugly in the winter, but most of them, as long as they don't get hit directly by frost, you should be okay. So if you're planting bamboo right now, just frost protect it for this winter and you should be okay. Something else that you can plant right now and not have to worry about the winter coming up are figs. Figs are the easiest plants to grow here. They can take really cold temperatures. The only time you're gonna have issues with growing figs is if your soil freezes in the winter. Yes, If it freezes in the winter, well, check this out, you are out of luck. I'll make a video in the future how to protect those types of plants in cooler areas, but for now, warmer areas, you can go ahead and stick them in the ground. Another tropical plant that does well in the winter time are Kai apple. I don't have a specific growing video for this plant coming up in the future, but these guys are bulletproof. They can take full sun, they can take the winter, they grow super fast, they give you millions of fruits once they start bearing fruit. But the only problem with them is they got massive thorns. They will mess you up. So if you have a neighbor you don't like and you're trying to build a barrier between your neighbor and yourself, this is a good plant to put in there. It will keep them away for good. So those are some of the plants out of my collection that you can put in the ground right now. I have a lot more plants that I can talk about for hours, but just to give you an idea, you can go ahead and put those in the ground without having to worry about them. What are some of the plants that I do not recommend planting right now? If you have any cold sensitive plant, out of my collection, it's gonna be mango trees mainly. Any other specialty super tropical plant, I do not recommend planting right now. Simply because cold protection is a lot harder to do than frost protection. For cold protection, you gotta change the ambient temperature around the plant to protect it. If you want to learn more about it, I got a few videos about cold protecting plants. You can check them out. That will show you the amount of work you need to do in order to keep those plants alive. And remember, a plant that has roots in the ground will always be a little stronger than one that does not. So if you're growing tropical plants in cooler climates, any amount of help you can get will definitely help you out in being successful. But anyways, guys, as always, if you have any questions, comment below. Yes, nurseries are telling you right now is the best time to plant. But remember, there's always an incentive. For me, I have no incentive. I will always tell you the truth. Whether that means I lose money or not, I don't care. I do this for the plants. Anyways, guys, don't forget, if you like the video, like it, and I will see you next time.